I want you to look at this screen right now. You're a UFC fan. You watch UFC almost every single week. Look at the screen. What do each one of these people have in common? As of recently, within 2025, I could even say, what do every single one of these 7 people have in common? Give it a little bit. Of course, you can tell by the title of the video, undeserved title fights, undeserved beggars for title fights. It does not make any sense how some of these guys are, one, either getting a title fight, or two, begging for one, pleading that this is their moment, that they deserve it, that got threatening to retire like Justin Gaethje. We're going to go over every single one. We're going to go over every single one of them. But there's been a lot happening when it comes to undeserved UFC title shots. The most blatantly obvious ones were Sean O'Malley and Juliana Pena as of late, where Sean O'Malley just got his at UFC 316, and Juliana Pena defended the title in a scenario where she didn't even deserve to fight for one in the first place and robbed the champion, Raquel Pena. We'll go over them. We'll go over every single one of them. But this is literally a plethora of unbelievably undeserved title shots that we've seen as of recent, and beggars for it. Now, some I can understand slightly more than others. As a matter of fact, I actually had Charles Oliveira in this little white space behind me. For 2 reasons, I took him out. One, I can understand a little bit more on the basis of he's been a former champion, had a pretty long reign overall. Didn't get his title shot again, even though he had the opportunity, but pulled out against Makhachev because of the injury, and then also partially because my face is kind of blocking him, so it'd be pointless. But anyways, like Oliveira, you could understand just on the basis of, although he's 1-1 in his last 2. Arman Tsarukyan blew his chance, and really there isn't anybody else to fight Ilia Topuria for the title with Makhachev moving up. If Tsarukyan, the rightfully deserving guy, isn't getting it, since the UFC said he isn't, it's Oliveira next up because he's coming off of a win prior to Gaethje, because Gaethje at the time wasn't. And on top of the fact that Oliveira is going to sell for a headliner. Charles Oliveira versus Ilia Topuria is going to sell for a headliner. Justin Gaethje would kind of sell, nowhere near as globally as Charles Oliveira would. Makhachev versus Topuria was one of the, I'm going to stop, the most and the biggest global, not the most, the biggest global fight right now the UFC could put on, and it's a non-negotiable, 100% the biggest fight the UFC could put on. It is bigger than Jones versus Aspinall without a shadow of a doubt, and Makhachev blew that because he moved up to fight for the welterweight title, which you can't blame him for. Kai Kara France, I can kind of understand on the basis of the number 1 and number 2 ranked guys in his division are Brandon Royval and Brandon Moreno, who have fought Alexandre Pantoja and lost to him 2 or 3 times each. You can't really give these guys another title shot, regardless if they're more deserving than it. But Kai Kara France coming off of 1 win against Steve Erceg and going right back in there, concerning, pretty weird. Although Erceg right before that fought for the title, again, undeserved. It was really just like they needed somebody to fight Pantoja. He wanted to be active, so they threw Erceg in there. And Erceg, a lot of people thought he did pretty well, and Kai Kara France knocked him out round 1, so they jumped Kai Kara France in there. Although being 1-1 in his last 2, really, who you're going to give it over Kai Kara France? So I put him on here because he is 1-1 in his last 2, and it's a very recurring theme amongst a lot of these guys that are here. But yeah, Brandon Moreno, Brandon Royval, Amir Albazi just lost to Moreno. Tyra lost to Brandon Royval. They tried to get people in there. Right now they're trying to shove Josh Van in there as well and have him beat Brandon Royval. Manel Kape was supposed to be the guy if he beat Brandon Royval, and well, Manel Kape just pulled out of the fight. So we got Josh Van trying to save the day in flyweight. So I think flyweight's pretty deep. Kai Kara France doesn't necessarily deserve it based on what he's done, being 1-1 in his last 2, but knocked out the most recent title challenger at the time that he fought, as well as one big knockout, round 1. No one really else ahead of him that's deserving of it more. Moving on. Corey Sandhagen. 1-1 in his last 2. Every single elite bantamweight that Corey Sandhagen has fought, elite, top of the line, he is lost to in dominant fashion. Peter Yan beat Corey Sandhagen dominantly. Blatantly obvious 49-46 decision. Aljamain Sterling choked out Corey Sandhagen in 1.5 minutes. Umar Nurmagomedov dominated Corey Sandhagen from start to finish. Why is Corey Sandhagen getting a title shot after beating Peter Yan scraps? Why is Corey Sandhagen getting a title shot after ducking Peter Yan in a title eliminator in July? Why, after, by the way, not suffering a single bit of damage against Davis and Figueiredo in Iowa? Peter Yan, since losing to Rob Dvalishvili, has won 2 fights, both of which were in the top 5 at the time. Song Yadong and Davison Figueiredo. Davison Figueiredo, mind you, would have gotten the title shot if he beat Peter Yan. And yet Peter Yan gets snubbed if he beats Davison Figueiredo. Corey Sandhagen, coming off of a loss against Umar Nurmagomedov, is sitting in interviews saying he's next in line for a title shot, guaranteed, if he beats Davison Figueiredo. Why would he get a title shot? Which he's getting! That's the problem. He's getting the title shot. Corey Sandhagen is getting the title shot against Rob Dvalishvili. Peter Yan got snubbed again, and we'll talk about the again part. Because Sean O'Malley in the bottom right corner right there is, bottom mid right. We're going to talk about him more. Anyway, Sandhagen completely does not deserve a title shot right now, being 1-1 in his last 2. He is not a single win over an elite bantamweight. Yan deserves it over him. It doesn't make any sense. 2-0 in his last 2, beating top 5 guys at the time, one of which he beat before Corey Sandhagen. Yes, Sandhagen beat Song Yadong before Peter Yan did, so that's why you don't really put Peter Yan over Sandhagen after just the Song Yadong win. But Sandhagen's also lost since then as well. Sandhagen's also lost to Umar Nurmagomedov in elite bantamweight since then. Davison Figueiredo, who beat him first? Corey Sandhagen literally beat Davison Figueiredo directly after Peter Yan had beaten him, where Figueiredo would have gotten the title shot if he beat Yan. Merab himself said Figueiredo is next if he beats Peter Yan. He didn't beat him. They were in a dilemma, the UFC. They didn't want to give Yan a title shot for whatever reason. So now Corey Sandhagen's sitting there. He's going to beat the guy that Peter Yan just beat. Gets a title shot. I'm rambling a little bit. Kind of repeating a little bit. I think it's very valid. I think there's nowhere near enough outrage for Peter Yan getting screwed. Not once, but ducked by Sandhagen, and twice. The UFC is just completely spitting in Peter Yan's face. And he's fighting Marcus McGee because every other reasonable bantamweight matchup for him is booked. And the highest up bantamweight that isn't booked, 1, Sean O'Malley, who was booked at the time. And 2, Song Yadong, who we already beat. Make it make sense. Anyways, Yair Rodriguez. Yair Rodriguez had been screaming that he was next in line for a title shot if he beat Patricio Pitbull, a 37-year-old coming out of Bellator, a non-ranked UFC fighter. And Yair Rodriguez is going to get the next title shot. Volkanovski is saying that Yair is getting the next title shot. Yair Rodriguez is not just 1-1, 1-2 in his last 3. He was on a 2-fight losing streak by finish. One to Alexander Volkanovski, and the other to Brian Ortega. He got finished by Brian Ortega in 2024. 2024, Brian Ortega finished Yair Rodriguez. And Yair Rodriguez, after beating Patricio Pitbull, is getting a title shot in 2025 in a rematch against Alexander Volkanovski, who literally finished him. 1-2 in his last 3. You're telling me this isn't garbage? Look how many we have in front of us. I have 7 photos. You could argue Charles Oliveira has 8, but I'm being lenient. Kai Kara France, I'll give you a snub on. The rest of them, no excuses. No excuses. Yair Rodriguez should be the last person in line right now. Diego Lopez just lost. He can't be in there. Movsar Evloev, without a shadow of a doubt, should be the next guy fighting Volkanovski right now. Both Diego Lopez and Alexander Volkanovski were calling out Movsar Evloev. The moment Movsar Evloev, the moment that fight was being made, Volkanovski versus Lopez, in both of their interviews, in both of their press conferences, even in the fight presser, they literally both called out Movsar Evloev for their first ever title defense. Volkanovski, even after the fight, was talking about Evloev, and yet the UFC completely snubbed him. Yair Rodriguez somehow deserves it more than Movsar Evloev. I get it. I know why they did it. The UFC doesn't like Evloev. They don't want him to be champion. I understand. They tried to bring Aaron Pico in, praying to God Aaron Pico beats him. What happens when Evloev beats Pico? What happens when Evloev beats him? Then they're going to be forced to give him a title shot like they were forced to give Merab a shot, like they were forced to give Bilal Muhammad a shot, and they're going to be champion eventually. You cannot stop these guys the more they keep winning, but you could just completely disrespect them outrageously, where Yair Rodriguez is getting a title shot. Yair Rodriguez openly ducking Diego Lopez. Openly ducking Diego Lopez. After that little feud that they had at the UFC 314, crazy. Crazy. This is probably the most undeserved one, but we can get around that same level. Justin Gaethje is threatening to retire if he does not get a title shot next. It's retire or title shot for Justin Gaethje. I'm choking. Okay, my own body can't believe it. Justin Gaethje is 1-1 in his last 2. He got knocked out by Max Holloway. Max Holloway a featherweight, moved up, beat the life out of Justin Gaethje for 5 rounds, and knocked him out in the 5th round. Great, okay, like, they went for a slaughter. Justin Gaethje went for it, and he got knocked out. Fine. So let's just say he got dominated for 5 rounds by a featherweight, right? Then what did he do? He got booked against Dan Hooker. It was supposed to be a pretty fun fight. Hooker pulled out. He fights Fiziev again in a rematch where Fiziev, just steps in, saves the day, and it looks very similar to the first Fiziev fight, right? Gaethje a little bit too big, lands a big shot on Fiziev. Fiziev kind of gasses out 3rd round. Similar thing, right? But I'm going to give Gaethje the credit as if he beat Dan Hooker, because you cannot knock Justin Gaethje on Dan Hooker pulling out, so you cannot undermine his win. He trained for the fight against Hooker. He won a fight where he was supposed to train against Hooker. He took a short notice fight against Fiziev and won the fight. 1-1 in his last 2. Does beating Dan Hooker warrant Justin Gaethje a title shot? No, it does not. The complete garbage claim of Justin Gaethje was next in line for a title, but then he took the Max Holloway fight was the biggest load of garbage I've seen in my life. Now, Dustin Poirier, did he deserve the title shot? Not a chance. Not even close. But right now, Arman Tsarukyan deserves a title shot over Justin Gaethje, and is non-negotiable. Right now, we have a title shot booked at lightweight in June 28th. Between Ilia Topuria and Charles Oliveira, and Justin Gaethje is not a guy that deserves a title shot next. Nope, not even a close chance. It should be Arman Tsarukyan. I think Paddy Pimblett has a better shot than Justin Gaethje. No, I don't. But he's on a momentum. He's got momentum going on. And I think Justin Gaethje has to fight either Arman Tsarukyan or Paddy Pimblett to be able to fight for a title. More so Arman Tsarukyan than Paddy Pimblett, because if you want to take Arman Tsarukyan's title shot, there's the number 1 guy. Somebody fight the number 1 guy. Paddy Pimblett, Justin Gaethje. Nobody wants to fight Arman? Nobody wants to fight Arman, huh? Nobody wants to fight the number 1 guy in the division, huh? Then who do you want to fight? Who do you want to fight? You just want to get just a hand-me-down title shot? You want to get a hand-given title shot? Is that what we're doing now? Is that what we're doing? Threatening to retire. Threatening to retire. You know how crazy that sounds, really? Think about it. You know how crazy this is. I'm threatening to retire if I don't get a title shot after beating Rafael Fiziev in a rematch. Really. 1-1 of my last 2 just got knocked out not even a year ago. Or just over a year ago or something. My man. Anyways, Kamaru Usman. Kamaru Usman's 0-3 in his last 3 fights. Kamaru Usman has not won a fight since 2021. Kamaru Usman, yes, was a long reigning champion, was one of the greatest... Not 2021, my bad. He isn't... No. Has Kamaru Usman won a fight since 2021? I think that's what it was. I think that was the right... Hold up, man. I'm pretty sure Kamaru Usman has not won a fight since 2021. I had that in my head. I had that in my head notes. Yeah. Kamaru Usman has not won a fight since 2021. Colby Covington in the rematch, by the way, which he lost. That was a load of garbage decision. Let's not go over that right now. Colby Covington won the second fight against Kamaru Usman. We can go on and on about that. But he beat Masvidal in 2021, so I can still say in about 4 years, Kamaru Usman has not won a fight. He has not fought at 170, not made 170 pounds in over 2 years. He has not won a fight in almost 4 years. Like I said again, I have to repeat that because that's very, very... Obviously, it's not really being taken note of right now. Because he's saying he's next in line for the shot against Islam Makhachev after Makhachev beats JDM, which he assumes that he should get the next title shot. That Kamaru Usman should get the next title shot after beating Joaquin Buckley. That's assuming he beats Joaquin Buckley. 0-3, 1-3 in your last 4, and you can get a title shot? Really? Is that what we're doing right now? Okay, he stepped in on Khamzat Chimaev. So, fine, right? He took a shot on short notice, up a weight class against one of the most dangerous guys in the division. He looked good down the stretch, right? Got dominated in round 1 on short notice, but, defended the positions. He outlasted a gassy fighter. Great performance, right? I think it's one of the more overrated performances we've seen. I mean, Usman has always been a physical freak, but at the end of the day, okay, outlasting Chimaev. What did he do impressively in that fight? I think it's one of the most overrated performances, really. One of the most overrated performances for a loss I've ever seen, ever, was Kamaru Usman versus Khamzat Chimaev. I think it's just he's been on short notice, and you get the respect for it. I understand that. But then, let's just scrap the Chimaev fight. Was beating Leon Edwards, and then got head kicked. Fluke. Fine. Got his rematch. Got his immediate rematch against Leon Edwards. And he looked as bad as he could have possibly looked against Leon Edwards in that third fight. Leon Edwards gave him every opportunity to win the fight. Leon Edwards backed up towards the cage as often as possible. That's how Usman takes his shots right now, to get his takedowns, because of his knee issues, because of his inability to explode with his knees, especially in the open mat. And Leon was defending shots against the cage. Leon Edwards was beating Kamaru Usman in the third fight, and he won the third fight. Leon Edwards beat Kamaru Usman cleanly. Cleanly. He got a point taken away because he was cheating, but even with the point taken away, Leon Edwards won the fight. So, even if you take away the Chimaev fight and you give him that leeway and you call the second Leon fight a fluke, the third Leon fight he clearly lost. Kamaru Usman still has not won a fight in almost 4 years. And he's 37, 38 years old right now, and he's saying that he's next in line against Islam Makhachev, which he's claiming is a super fight, by the way. There's a level of delusion it needs for Kamaru Usman to believe he's still in talks of super fight talks, right? Like, man, that podcast he has with Henry Cejudo, Kamaru Usman and Henry Cejudo, the Pound for Pound podcast, I watch it. I'm not even gonna lie to you guys. During work, I'll put it on sometimes while I'm doing something. 100%. It's MMA. I'm gonna listen to it. Watch a couple guys. Watch MMA Guru. Listen to some of the podcasts from some of these fighter podcasts. Entertaining at times. You know what I mean? They're delusional. Henry Cejudo and Kamaru Usman, they're all-time greats, but they are delusional right now. Right now, their current stake right now, delusional. And Kamaru Usman thinks he deserves a title shot. I don't know if he actually believes he deserves it. He's just claiming, he's next in line against Islam Makhachev. Could you imagine Kamaru Usman jumping Shavkat Rakhmonov or Sean Brady right now? Even Ian Gary. But, I mean, if he beats Buckley, sure. But, like, Shavkat Rakhmonov and Sean Brady. Tell me Kamaru Usman deserves a title shot over those guys. No! Sean Brady beat the guy you couldn't beat. Finished him. Smoked him. Didn't even, not a lick of chance did Leon have in the entire fight. Moving on, Sean O'Malley. I don't want to go into it that much because I already ripped into it. I said it's one of the most undeserving title shots, if not the most undeserving title shot in UFC history. Peter Yan, again, 2-0 in his last two. Very, very rightful, obvious rematch for Merab before O'Malley was, with O'Malley not fighting. Fighting on a torn labrum against Merab, ends up getting surgery and not fighting since Merab defending the title. And what does O'Malley do? He watches. O'Malley takes pictures. O'Malley's just watching, right? 8 months, 9 months later, O'Malley gets booked to fight Merab again. Why? 0 wins. He has 0 wins. The champion defended his title. O'Malley had one defense against Chito Vera. Again, as undeserved as it gets, right? Like, Chito Vera should have never fought for the title. But okay, you gave it to O'Malley. He smoked Chito Vera in that fight. One defense. Lost dominantly to Merab. Then what? Nothing. The champion defends his shot. The champion, Merab Dvalishvili, defends against Umar Nurmagomedov in an unbelievable, really, really high-level fight. And he looked great. And O'Malley does nothing. 0 wins leading up to fighting Merab again in the rematch over Peter Yan. Again, 2-0 in his last two after losing to Merab. Fine. Again, just being snubbed again. You can see the Peter Yan propaganda I'm kind of trying to push right now, but it's not even propaganda. It's legitimate life. It's life. It's objective life. It's what's happening in front of you guys right now. And Juliana Pena. Got the fluke over Amanda Nunes. Got the life beaten out of her for 5 rounds after that, proving it was a fluke. Sits out. Watches Mayra Bueno Silva fight against Raquel Pennington and lose. Raquel Pennington gets that title. Then she just gets a title shot for doing nothing. I mean, Juliana Pena, 0 title defenses, biggest fluke in women's MMA history. And realistically in MMA history, because I think it's the biggest upset in MMA history where, again, definitely, most certainly, evidently the biggest fluke in MMA history after that. She just gets a title shot against Raquel Pennington. Why? I get women's bantamweight sucks. I mean, who would you have given it over Juliana Pena, right? I don't know. Norma Dumont, been literally doing anything to get a title shot since. Literally Ketlin Vieira would have rather get. I mean, Juliana Pena's last win, like legitimate win, right? Like scrap the Amanda Nunes fights. She did not beat Raquel Pennington. She lost that fight. She beat Sarah McMahon. Let's go. Juliana Pena has done nothing. Juliana Pena has done nothing. Quite literally nothing. I can't believe it. I don't understand it. It is what it is. But again, these guys right here, undeserved title shots that we've had recently, and begging for it. Gaethje threatening to retire. Kamaru Usman stating that he's up next. Yair Rodriguez saying that he's 100% guaranteed one. He's actually getting it. Gaethje could very well get it if Topuria wins. I mean, they could screw Armin and say, Armin, okay, it's Armin versus Paddy, and the winner of that gets the fight. But since while you guys are fighting, Topuria needs to defend, let's give Justin Gaethje his title shot. He's earned his flowers. That load of garbage. We saw what happened with O'Malley. He just got shoved in there. Sandhagen, same thing. Sympathy title shot. And Kai Kara France, I'm not even going to blame him too much. You know what I mean? The division's clogged up right now with two guys who've been losing to the champion, and there really is nobody above him. So, whatever. I don't know. I felt like I wanted to make this video because there are just so many bad title shots as of recently. and just fighter after fighter just claiming some load of garbage. With Trevor Whitman, Ali Abdulaziz fighters, it seems like Corey Sandhagen, Kamaru Usman, Justin Gaethje, just all claiming title. Watch Rose Namajunas after beating, if she beats Miranda Maverick, which I don't think she will, but watch Rose Namajunas call for a title shot right next. Yeah, rough. Surely we get some substance, right? Surely there's going to be some, like, you know, refurbishment. All these, I mean, we got to have some sort of credibility to get reestablished in the UFC, right? I'm going to watch every single fight no matter what. I watched the Jessica Eye versus Cynthia Calvillo main event. I will watch literally anything the UFC puts on TV. I don't care. I want a card every single week, as bad as it is. I do not care. But when it comes to the big moments, how do you bottle these? The matchmaking's been so bad as of recent. Not only for just all fights, but the main fights, like the things like this. Sandhagen getting a shot. Gaethje more than likely going to be getting a shot. Yair Rodriguez getting a shot. O'Malley getting a shot. Juliana Pena getting a shot. Kamaru Usman claiming he needs one. Like, Stop. Make your way. Make your name. Do something. I get a lot of these guys have made their names already, but understand what's going on. Like, you don't get hype and respect and all that. Maybe the UFC doesn't care about it. What am I even saying? Like, screw all that, right? Like, the UFC wants you to get a title shot, you get in a title shot. It doesn't matter what the public thinks of you. It doesn't matter about... So I'm an idiot at this point making this video because it doesn't really matter, does it? Doesn't matter. They're going to do whatever they want, clearly. They did it with O'Malley. They did it with Sandhagen. They're doing it with Yair right now. They're probably going to do it with Gaethje. They did it with Giuliano. Follow me on TikTok, MMA_DBM. Subscribe to my YouTube. Thank you guys for watching. Video tomorrow. Don't know what it'll be. Probably will figure it out right before the video, before I make the video. Hopefully something interesting happens tomorrow. So I don't have to talk about stuff like this. Appreciate you guys. See you guys tomorrow.